Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there. You gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross, and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter. Make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted, because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage. We are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Manifestations 2020. It's been a while since I did this. Normally, Major, our good brother here, always been doing the intro and greeting us in. So tonight I've been doing it just for tonight, because we got a special guest in. I invited her on the show, and I definitely want to show the world what great work she's been doing. So before we get into that, I definitely want to ask the fellas, man, how's your week going? How's everything going? Give us a little feedback, what you want to talk about before we get into tonight's show.
Man, 49ers 3-0. You know what I'm talking about? Like, just put it out there. That's just what it is. You know, we're doing it how we do over here. We got this wonderful sister in the building, Bella's Braidchateau. I just can't wait to find out what this is all about. You know, I'm very excited about it. Shout out to her. Welcome. You know, I'm glad to see my brothers up in here celebrating this 49ers 3-0 weekend. All right, y'all go ahead and say what you got to say.
Bobby, you want to follow up with that?
Woo! Yeah.
Congratulations.
How about that?
We good, man. 1.
Mm-hmm.
We still got the 2.
You're
going to keep pushing. So
good luck. You'll need it.
Rough stretch, one of the worst losses Bengals have had in recent memory. But on the plus side, my fantasy team, they heard my cries, they felt my despair, and they decided to make y'all pay for it. So right now, I'm wearing somebody like a size 12 galoshes.
Injuries to you. Injuries to you.
I'm suffering enough. All right. And unfortunately, my Bengals were down. However, on the bright side, my starting defense benefited, and thanks to the demise of Joe Burrow, Minnesota Vikings defense came through with 30 points.
Man,
behind. So
yeah, your fantasy team is sick. I do not want to play you no time soon. After you get them injuries, I just wished on you. We'll see you. You know what I'm saying?
it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It is what it is.
We're good, though. It's a beautiful week. Yes.
That's what's up. So we have the rise on one side and the fall on the other side.
I'm
not
that's
going to
That's life.
That's just life.
All
right. So we have a wonderful, wonderful guest tonight, Miss Bella. She's going to show you exactly what she's been doing, talk about what she's been doing. I personally think that she's been doing God's work, and that's why I reached out to her, because what she has been doing on transforming women into being goddesses. It's not really a big transformation. I know Black women, especially, are goddesses naturally, but through circumstances like alopecia that can really, really take a real big dent and a hit on a lot of women's confidence. Because one thing about us, especially Black folks, we don't really mind money or not. That's really not our big issue. Our biggest issue is how our self-esteem is, how we look, how we present ourselves. Because even going back to the early 1800s, one of the most prevalent things that our parents was always telling us is make sure that you look good when you go out. So from head to toe, you want to make sure that you're appealing to the people once you walk out that door. Like I say, natural things happen. Alopecia is something that hits society pretty hard. And this wonderful woman has transformed these women right back into the sense of beauty that they once were. And it's not that easy to do, So definitely going to let her get into her journey and why did she go into that journey, and explain it a little bit more. So I'll turn it over to you, to Miss Bella, and you can explain to the audience exactly what you do and the journey you took to get there.
Okay, so the journey that it took for me to get here, I was intrigued from the age of, I want to say maybe 12, 13, 14. Everything about hair, anything that had to do with hair, I was intrigued in that aspect. But I was also intrigued about being part of the law. So I did not take the hair journey right away. I was in law enforcement for 14 years. So believe it or not, 5 years ago is when I started getting into the hair journey. So I was a deputy during the daytime, and I was doing hair part-time, so at night. And so I was just doing anyone's hair, you know, because I knew I could do hair. So I was just doing anyone's hair. But there was this particular coworker that I had, and she was like, hey, I want you to do my hair. But she was like, but I have alopecia. And I'm like, alopecia? Honestly, I didn't even know what that was. Alopecia. Yeah. But I really didn't want to ask her what alopecia was. So I kind of looked it up. She said, I have alopecia up here. And I'm like, okay. So when I looked it up, it was like hair loss. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do to her hair to give her that perfect coverage? So all night I was stressing, like, I don't know what style am I going to give her in order to give her that perfect coverage. To say, she came, got her hair done, and it turned out wonderful. She loved her hair. So from that point on, I had a focus on wanting to do those that have hair loss for two reasons. One, because I found it very interesting on how to figure out how to give them that perfect coverage in spite of having, you know, major hair loss. Yeah. So I thought it was like, you know, just putting a puzzle together. And I thought it was fascinating. So that's why I went into, you know, providing that service for those, you know, with hair loss. And also at the time, you know, doing a little bit of research, every other alopecia stylist that was out there, they were only giving them one particular style, which is the style that just goes to the side. You know, most of the ladies would know. So it's a lemonade side style. And that's the only style that I seen alopecia braiders giving to those that have alopecia. And also the cost. They're charging them top notch for, you know, just that service. So I said, I am going to do something different. I am going to, mind you, I really didn't know what I was doing, to be honest with you. The styles that you guys see and the outcomes that you guys see, honestly, I can't take no credit for that. It's only God, because some of them I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do in order to provide, you know, that great coverage where they feel confident enough to walk outside without, you know, without being shamed. So honestly, it's all God. I mean, I can truly say the talent actually came from him, because like I said, some of them, I don't know, you know, what am I going to do in order to give that coverage for them to have confidence. And before I started getting into frontals, I was just doing their hair straight up without any additional pieces, without, you know, anything to give that coverage. I was just doing their hair straight up, and people just started liking it, and people just started coming to me, people all over. I mean, from Alaska from Guam. I mean, they were just flying in all over and driving in all over. And I was like, okay, so this is a gift. This is a talent. So that is where all of that came from.
Nice. I definitely want to give a little feedback to the audience on alopecia. So definitely want to get into this right here. What's this? Let me get up. All right. So alopecia is hair loss, like she stated, and there's various factors in it. You know, it could be genetics. You can also have hormonal imbalances, thyroids, which is a big issue that you see a lot with women, menopause, pregnancy, you know, different things like that can have an effect on it. You know, you have trauma, physical injury to the scalp, and tight hairstyles, which is something that I think a lot of people really don't really take into consideration, because I know people go to different hairstylists, and you know, not every hairstylist is going to do your hair right. And sometimes even with me with dreads, you know, I can't go to everybody that say they do dreads, because some people will have your head so tight. Like I remember I had my dreads retwisted one time. I could not sleep that whole night because my head was so tight from the dreads. And then you have some that do it real good and you don't feel anything. It's like, what? So you really have to know who the stylist is that you have and go to them. I do want to say this second part of it is other causes: stress, smoking, heat styling tools, and chemical treatment. A lot of people don't understand the chemical treatments is also a huge part of that as well. And you have to know, like, some of those products you get, you have to really dial down into it, because the products can be cheap and they can come with a lot of chemicals in it, and also a lot of chemicals known to cause cancer. We're seeing a rise in cancer in women, especially Black women, and some of those are coming from feminine products as well as hair care products as well. So you got to be very careful and study what you're investing in and also putting into your hair, because also your hair is also a gateway to your body. It's not just your mouth, but other things like your skin and your hair. So those are other factors. I saw that they had this as well. Men, you guys suffer from alopecia as well. You guys just don't call it that, you try to call it on the bald look, but sometimes your bald look do come from having alopecia. It is a hair loss. That's why you have a lot of men out here with wigs too. So when you're out here calling out women with wigs, make sure you're not wearing a wig yourself, because there's I've seen a lot of guys wearing wigs, especially at young ages. So you guys are suffering from alopecia as well. So don't point fingers, just try to figure out ways that you can also help yourself to cure what you have, or, just making sure that you educate people as well as your family as well. So I just wanted to show that as well. And I also want to get into your wonderful transformations that this is reason I ran across your page. I saw it and I was just blown away. So when you say people are flying in, I see why. I really do. So we'll go on and you can explain some of them to us.
Okay.
So you have this one right here. I thought this was a phenomenal transformation. I was like, wow, man, wow. And she has music. She has music to it, so I had to eliminate the music because I didn't want us to get a copyright strike.
Right.
So that one, do you have a story behind that hairstyle as well, or that particular one?
Well, this lady just came in. She suffered from alopecia, and she said she had it for a long time, and she could never. She hadn't had braids for probably over 20 years. And she came in and I did her hair. That style in particular, I used 2 frontals in order to achieve that look for her.
That's a powerful, powerful look. All right, the next one right here. So I was like, man, what you gonna do with this? And I was like, what? Nah, that's God right there.
All right. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right there. So what's the story behind that one?
It's the same issues. Like you mentioned before, some people, they have alopecia because of medical reasons.
Yes.
And it's the same issue because of medical reasons. But hers, I did hers without any frontals, without any additional pieces added to her hair, but just the braid hair. That's it.
Okay. So I'll go to this one right here. This is super dope. Super dope. Man, and I just can imagine the when they see it, their initial reaction. I know it's through the roof. I just know it.
This client right here, the very first time she came to me, she had never had braids for a long time. When people first come to me, they haven't had braids for probably 15, 20 years because they could never find that person in order to give them braids because of their condition. Every first time she came to me, it was so emotional because she never thought she can get braids, and she never thought she can get that perfect coverage. So the very first time I did her hair, she got the perfect coverage and she had braids. She started crying. I started crying. It was just emotional. That really brings joy to my heart to see that not me, God gave me the ability to create such I guess miracles on their head where they can just walk freely without wearing a wig every single day.
Yes. Yes.
So.
Amazing. Oh man, when I tell you amazing. One thing I've noticed about you that it hurt me to see that somebody, and I definitely get into that a little bit later. I didn't really bring the video up because I didn't really want to blast her face like that. But I'm sure when we give you, when we advertise your page, people could go on there and see the 2-part story that you had. But one thing that I notice about what you do is that you protect a lot of these women's identities as far as their face. I know you don't put their face out there. I don't know if anybody else have ever picked up on that, but I know that you are very discreet about that, because even though they have a transformation, you got to understand that self-esteem before that transformation is like, they don't want people to know that, you know, a lot of times they, like you say, they wear wigs, they try to conceal their identity, you know, just to make sure that, you know, people aren't out there judging them based on it. But after the transformation, I know they're flaunting themselves through the hallways, up and down. They're making sure that they waving at everybody, because it's such an enjoyment. It's such a fulfillment to see how you rebirth them back into their natural phase of being so confident and having that self-esteem. Because I could tell you, anytime that it's a man or a woman that sits in a chair, and once they get their hairstyle, and the hairstyle is phenomenal, whether you get a good cut from your barber or you get a good hairdo from your braider, it's just that initial, man, I'm telling you, you don't even want to dust yourself off. You just want to gloat in that spirit that you're in right then and there. So I understand how these women for years have been not feeling like themselves because of their condition. And it's not too many quote unquote technicians sent from God that can transform them back to their natural state, which you do so eloquently. But I did want to point that out, because I know you do that. You conceal their identity, and that's so dope of you, Queen.
Well, I do it because I put myself, I don't have alopecia, but if I were in that position, I wouldn't want my face being shown.
Yeah, exactly.
If I was in that position. And respectfully, I asked them, hey, do you mind your face showing or do you not? Some, very few don't care, you know, because they're like, it is what it is. But a lot of them don't want their face to be shown. And I respect that 100%.
Yes. Well said. This one did.
It's not that important to me to show off my work versus you know, keeping that stylist client relationship.
Correct. And that's why I said not everybody conducts themselves in that way, have a code of conduct to respect more their client than trying to go viral for themselves, you know? So that's why I wanted to point that out, because I saw that and I did want to identify that. But this client said, put me on screen because I love it.
Oh, yes, you don't mind.
Extraordinary work.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
That's wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So what's
go ahead. No, I was gonna say any backstory to this one, and then you could go.
There's not really a backstory to her hairstyle. She's just basically trying to grow her hair back. She has very minimal alopecia, but ever since she started coming to me, she's just stuck with me. So basically, she's just trying to grow her taper cut back, and you know, her hairstyle is like that.
Nice. Go ahead, Major.
Extraordinary. Have you had any people that, you know, despite your greatest efforts, you just were not able to help? And if so, what was the next step? Or was there anyone who was more challenging than someone else?
Well, you've shown the challenged video, the challenging video, which was the first one. Like, if you come in with nothing, like, how are we going to figure this out? How are we going to make something out of nothing? To me, those were the challenging ones when you came in with nothing. Thank God there's frontals, and thank God there's other hair pieces that you can use in order to make something out of nothing.
Okay, that's what's up. Is the solution always like a frontal or hair piece, or are you at times able to help them re-trigger their growth in their hair? Is that something that's a thing?
Yes, that is a thing. Not every single client that comes to me gets a frontal. Some clients don't want a frontal. And some clients, yes, I have helped their hair grow back. But the problem is you have to be consistent. Consistency is the key. Just come today and then go to somebody else. And then when your hair start falling out again, you come back to me. It's just not going to work. You have to be consistent, and you'll see for yourself. You'll see the growth.
Okay. Yeah. So you're taking somebody from very little hair to a full head of hair?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. That's what's up.
It's on the page. You can see it.
Okay. I'm gonna definitely check that out. I didn't have a chance to look this week, but I'm gonna definitely have a look. You was gonna say something, man?
No, I was gonna say that men go through that too. You know, as men, we go and get our cut, and we get taped up real good by somebody, and then we say, you know what? I don't have time. Let me go over here. And you go to the first guy in the chair, which you know is no rule, but you like, I'm pressed the time.
Yeah.
Then buddy, bring your hairline all the way back here. And then you try to go back to your original barber and then have him try to fix you up. The damage is already done. So
yeah,
you know,
some of these cats are Stephen A. Smith your ass for real. They will.
They'll
do it.
The thing is, I feel like when you find that connection with whatever you do in life, when you find that connection, stick with it.
Yes. I agree.
Well, you say because everybody is not going to be as passionate as the next person. Everybody's not going to care like the next person does.
Correct.
But they're just in it because I can make some money right quick. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Yeah.
Some people are truly passionate about what they do, and their work shows. Your hair is growing; it shows.
Yeah.
So you just have to basically stick with whatever relationship you start building, and you like that person, because it's hard. Honestly, it's hard to find good stylists out here.
That's very true.
That's dependable, even for myself, because I go to someone else too. People that's dependable. People that's not going to try to scam you. People to just
That's major.
do whatever. Just
punctual.
So
yeah, punctual is hard to find too, especially in our community. Punctual is real hard to find too.
Exactly.
I love
it is what it is.
I love the fact that you said that, because I do that in, like you said, in every aspect of your life. I'm like that with Black businesses, period, right? If I find a Black business, I tell people all the time, if you find a Black business that's doing what they are doing, providing great service, have the products you need, you love their products, it don't matter if they're 30 minutes away, make that travel and support them, because the more you support a good business, the more you give them more financial income in order for them to expand and bring something closer to your area. Right. But a lot of times we have so much disdain and we want to blast people. It seems like blasting people is such a big thing in our community, right? Yeah. Where we just take the time to blast people. I haven't blasted a Black business, and I've had some horrible Black business stories. But I noticed that when you focus on the ones that do right, you don't have time to blast the bad ones.
Right.
Find the ones that are doing great in whatever niche you're looking for, whatever area, aspect in your life, whatever somebody's doing great at, whether they're selling t-shirts, whether it's a grocery store, whatever it is, if they're doing something right, just focus on them. And I promise you, it'll eliminate all the BS that you go through.
Truth.
Well said.
Here's
Yeah.
the other problem. The other problem is I realize, well, I'm gonna say in our community, or in general, blasting is so contagious. Blasting is so, people are just so hyped when somebody get blasted. But when you're trying to put something positive, you barely get any likes.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody don't support it. Nobody, you know, as soon as you put something negative, everybody is like, oh my God, did you see that? Did you?
Yeah.
We need to stop that. We actually stop that. And actually, when something positive is brought forward, we need to actually support that. We need to be like, hey, did you hear about the new bakery down the street? They're the bomb. We need to support each other.
Yeah.
Correct.
Not negativity, but we need to support when we're doing something positive as well.
Correct.
Very true.
Yeah, I
Very
try to
true.
be 10 times louder when I got something positive to say. Because it's needed, you know, like you say on this show, right here on this show, we do a segment called the Crown Check segment, right? And this is a segment specifically created to honor Black women in particular. And those videos are the least viewed videos that we have, and most of our audience is Black women.
Yeah.
Right? Life, Sarah W. Doll, and Bermuda Desir. Okay, we got some sisters in the audience. Shout out to y'all sisters. We see she has very gifted hands. This sister's powerful.
Bella a rock star, man. She bringing them out.
I see it. Danica Panelas. Okay, best in town. What town are you located in, by the way, sister?
I am in Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Okay, GA. All right, I rock with GA. That's what's up.
From
okay.
GA.
I got some people over there. I'm gonna have to send them to you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That's what's up.
Say that.
She have you ever had a client that, how do I say? I don't want to make this sound like I'm going at you wrong, but have you ever had a client that, you know, was dissatisfied? I'm assuming all of your clients are satisfied. That was dissatisfied in the beginning because the process is slow and you had to win them over. Have you ever had that?
Well, you know, in everything you do, you're gonna find somebody.
I wasn't gonna say it. I'm gonna let you tell it though. Go ahead.
Look, they crucified Jesus, so you already know. Man.
There you go.
Every single thing you do, you're going to find someone that's dissatisfied, either with the style, the cost, or you know, whatever it is they want to be unsatisfied with.
Okay.
I am more on the positive side, and I am more of, okay, let's figure it out. If it's the hairstyle, let's figure it out to see what can I do in order to fix the style. But to avoid all of that, that's why I have consultations. That's why I, you know, hey, send me an inspo picture. You know, do you see a picture on my page where it's similar to, you know, what you want, or, you know, I have consultations for that reason, to avoid all of that. So what you see is what you're gonna get.
Okay.
That's
excellent.
But honestly, I'm more on the positive side versus being on the negative side. And it's okay. If we don't work out as a client stylist, it's okay. You can find someone else to go to.
Right.
It's fine. But I know for a fact I am not here for everyone. I am not the stylist for everyone, but there is somebody out there for them. So
agreed. Okay.
You got something to say, Bobby?
Yeah, actually, two things real quick to ask. So in light of that, I like what you, well, first off, I just want to say that for anybody listening, even though obviously, Bella, your industry is hair, but that right there, what you said, is that's excellent game for anybody that's looking to get into entrepreneurship, especially on the service end of things. Understand that how do you kind of, you know, make sure that you don't get yourself in a situation where you have a client in front of you and now it's something that you can't handle. They're already there. They've already booked. They have expectations. And here you are realizing I bit off more than I can chew. Consultations, send me an idea of what you're looking for. that's an excellent way of saving both yourself time and the client time, and possibly also, make sure that no one's time or expectations are, wasted. But in light of that, understand that, every job isn't for everybody. You might not be the right person, or maybe what they want is something that's outside of your scope. Have you ever referred somebody to another stylist who you thought maybe could help them, or was more in alignment with what they were looking for, or who would be more open to giving it a shot?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am not that great at doing cornrows. Not saying that I can't do it, but I feel like when I do it, it looks too tight, and I don't want to put tension like that on someone's head. So of course I refer them to someone else that's excellent at doing cornrows. I don't mind doing that. If I can't do it, I tell you straight up, I can't do it. If I could do it, I could do it. If I can't, I can't. With that being said, some of the people that have alopecia, their expectations are so high, especially looking at the page. Oh, you did hers, you definitely can do mine. You don't know that.
Right.
You don't know that.
Right.
So, like I said, that's why the consultation, that's why all the rules are put in place, and that's why the consultations are put in place, so we can fix all the problems, talk about all the issues prior to you coming in and expecting some miracle, and I can't really work that miracle that you're expecting.
Now, can you run over some of the rules, because I notice a lot of hairstylists have rules, right? Now, some of them I understand, but some of them is just I see why a lot of people complain. I do.
Well, I would have to say this in order to back up the rules that I have now.
Yeah.
So prior to me being scammed,
No. We're gonna have to get into that story. We want to hear that one.
What?
I can't tell you the reason why I have these specific rules now without saying prior to me getting scammed.
Yeah.
So prior to me being scammed, I didn't have that many rules. It was just straight to the point. The point. Hey, this is what I expect. $100 deposit. Make sure you're on time. Things to that nature. However, after I got scammed, I had to adjust those rules. Now, I'm speaking for myself. Now I have to require ID. Do I want people's information? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Do I have to have your information on file? Yes, I do. Because I got scammed and I didn't have that young lady's information on file prior to that. And it took some time to find her. It took some time to try to locate her and her address. So if there's a rule in place, it's because something happened. That's why. If that rule is not in place, nothing happened. Every single rule means something, and somebody did something or something took place in order for that rule to be in place now or to be in effect now, and it's enforced.
I get that part, but I saw a girl, and I had to agree with the girl that wanted to be a client. When she had posted it, I was like, yeah, I see why you mad. She said, now mind you, this woman is going to go get her hair washed as part of the routine. That's what you do. You wash people's hair.
Right.
Yeah.
This lady said, come with your hair already washed. She like, what? Why would you let me pay you and then you tell me come with my hair already washed? That don't even make no sense like that. So I feel like sometimes you have stylists that try to eliminate as much work as possible, but also get the money as well. Because you don't have real professional people out there like that.
I mean, It doesn't make sense, and it sounds like it doesn't make sense. However, we don't know the totality of the situation that she probably encountered, and maybe that's why she put "come with your hair wash." Example, just an example. Someone could have had a quick weave and a ton of glue on their hair, and it took her forever to try to wash the glue out. So maybe that's why she put "come with your hair wash," and then she'll probably wash it again. You understand?
Okay.
So now I try not to question why people have certain things. That some rules doesn't make sense. However, majority, I try not to question why people have certain rules in place. Trust me, believe me, something happened, and that's why that rule is in place.
Yeah.
She encountered something, and that's why that rule is in place.
Yeah, I agree. I guess because I'm so old school, I guess it's just the era we in now. Because when I used to go, because back then the barbershop and the hairstylist pretty much was all in one salon. So I would just see women coming in there and just getting their hair done. There wasn't no prerequisites, no rules, no nothing. They just got their stuff done and out of there. So now I feel like, and a lot of people feel like there's so much pre-rules before it gets so overwhelming for a lot of people, I guess. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I understand it can get overwhelming. However, back then, I want to believe more people were honest back then. I believe that
I would too.
people had more rules back then.
Yeah, that's true.
They would just go in and get their hair washed and pay for their service.
Correct.
Now you have to worry about, is the money real? You have to have a counterfeit pin. You have to do so much. It's ridiculous. So I want to say that's what it was back then. If you're going to get a service, that's just what you're going to do without other motives.
Nice. Now I just posted up. Is that your daughter that just commented in Life's a Raw Doll?
Yes, it is.
Okay, is that the one that did the wonderful flyer for us?
She did, yes.
Oh, okay. Great to meet you, Princess. Thank you for the wonderful flyer. If you want, you can type your information in the chat. So if anybody needs a flyer done, they can definitely reach out to you, because I know you said that's something she does on the side.
That's her business. That's what
okay.
Oh yeah, top
nice.
quality.
That's what's up. Yeah.
Y'all go ahead and hit that sister up. Go ahead and blow her up. She needs to be booked and busy.
It is.
Be booked and busy.
It is.
I need her overloaded. I need her to need a secretary or something. Go ahead and y'all handle that.
There you go.
Definitely. You guys have anything else before I get into the last final?
Share us some of your glory stories. Like, what person's life did you transform their hair, but did you transform their life? I know it's something that was just extra ultra fulfilling that you experienced in this journey. Tell us about it.
Well, doing hair is just not doing hair.
Oh yeah, I know. My wife's a stylist. I know.
You're a counselor. You're a teacher.
Yeah.
You're everything in one. So I don't know, just connected with my clients. I love to have that relationship with my clients where we get super cool and we could talk about anything, what we're going through, life situation, and I give advice, they give me advice. We just, share, we just communicate and share ideas. We always have a great time in the salon.
That's what's up.
Salon. It's always something to talk about, always something great to talk about.
Yeah, people don't understand the salon and the barbershop are like major pillars of the community. You go there, and a lot of times for some people, that's the highlight of their week. They working, they stressed out, they going through it, they can't find those, solace at home. They can't even find no solace in the church, but they sit down with that hairstylist or that barber, and that's their girlfriend or their homeboy, and they get to just release and just kind of free up for a minute. And then when they get up, they looking their best. Like, you know, my wife tells me all the time, like, that's one of the things that she loves so much about being a stylist is helping people look their best, feel their best. Because when you look your best, you feel like you can get out there and just conquer the world. That's what I hear. You know what I'm saying?
Helping people feel their best physically and emotionally.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's crazy that you say that because is that your only child?
No, I have 4 kids.
Okay, so in the midst of the 4 children that you have, and I know you put so much time into your daily work and everything else. You also got life bills, everything coming at you. Give us some feedback on how do you manage that? How can somebody in your position that has children, that may have a significant other or somebody like that, all of those things combined, how do you create that balance that makes you still be in a sane mind? Because, you know, a lot of times people have so much pressure and then they go crazy, but you look like you balance everything out and you keep every part of your aspect of life separate but functional. How can you give any advice on how to accomplish that?
You just have to find what works for you. You have to find what works for you. You have to have a village. You have to have an outlet. You can't, even though I love doing hair, you have to find, you have to find other things that you enjoy doing as well. You can't let it consume you. Besides working out, besides doing hair, I love working out. I love going to church, love spending time with my family. But in order to juggle all of that, you just have to have a village. You have to have someone to help you. You have to work around the kid's schedule. You have to, figure it out. You have to figure it out. Because honestly, like you said, it is hard to stay sane and trying to manage all these clients that you have and trying to manage home as well. So you just have to find the outlet where you can disconnect with your job and spend time with the family. And when you're at work, you're at work. When you're at home, you're at home. And of course, like I said, you just have to have that village where other people can help you, because some styles take longer than the other. Some people you thought it was going to be quick, but now it's longer. So I just basically, however I think the style is going to take, I work around that. I work around that in order to, manage home life as well.
Nice. Now, what is something that you personally do for your self-care, away from everybody else, away from the children, something that you do that you take pride in that keeps you sane and balanced?
I love vacations.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
That's the reset.
I'll be on somebody's plane probably at least 4 to 5 times a year.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
I am going to be on someone's plane at least 4 to 5 times a year. It's not a good thing, but it's a good thing for me. I am going to be at somebody's store.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Self-care for myself.
Yes.
Going to the spa, getting my nails done, hair done, just basically unwinding. I love, just not per se going to the club, just like city winery. I don't know if I could say that on here, but I love just a chill spot, a grown chill spot. Just to unwind, just to relax, just to, get my mind away from all, life, all the things that life is throwing at you. Yeah.
Dope.
Oh, okay.
Dope.
Yeah, I find time.
See, like
it's a Jet2 holiday.
Yeah. I seem like you're pretty busy, heavy, because your daughter came on here and said once a month, so she deserves it. If you take off once a month, you deserve it.
Why
You
is he putting me on blast like that?
She tattletaling out here. Wait a minute.
You gotta
Hold
love
up.
your kids.
Man.
Gotta love the children, man.
They gonna do it to you.
Look, I need that once a month sometimes.
Definitely.
It's big. You know.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Aunt. You were saying.
No, I was gonna say, we enjoyed our time with you. Is anything else that you want to share with us before you get up out of here? Just any advice, anything like that, anything you want to put out there, your business, anything like that.
Well, what I want to say is whatever gifts, you know how they say your gifts and talents, your gifts will make room for you.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true. If you have a gift, reach down inside, pull that gift out. It might not be matured. However, you will work on it, and your gifts would absolutely make room for you and open doors that you could never imagine. So I would say to the world, find that gift inside of you and work on it and watch where it takes you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well said. I do want to show everybody your page. So this is your page on Instagram. If you guys want to go over there, make sure you follow, share. Man, you guys, you don't even have to be in that field. Just be inspired by the pictures that she put up there and the transformation she gives to you. As you guys can go on the page, you see the pinned comment right there. I know we didn't get into it tonight, but it's a lot to get into. But you guys could go. It's a 2-part story of the person that scammed her. I feel so bad about that situation because I was like, you do too much wonderful things for you to be in a position for somebody to do that. Like the transformation, what you're doing, God's work. Nobody should do that to anybody, but especially not to you. So I'm so sorry that you went through that.
Nobody shouldn't, but honestly, to be honest with you, also, you know how the Bible says everything will work out for your good.
Yeah.
A lot of good has come out of this situation. So, yes, it's a negative situation. No, I did not want to post her on my page. Yes, I did follow all the channels and all the avenues that I needed to take in order to rectify the situation.
Correct.
However, it didn't work out. Only God knows why it didn't work out. But after posting her, a lot of good has came out of this. So
nice.
It is negative, but I also see the good and positive things that came out of it as well. I wouldn't be here tonight if
that's true.
You guys
That is true.
that video. So
that's true. That is true. Fellas, y'all want to ask anything before she get up out of here?
I just want to, more so than ask, I want to just make a couple comments. First of all, like I said, my wife, she also is a hairstylist, and very much like yourself, she's always talking about the importance of beauty,
right?
And the importance of women being able to own their own beauty. You know what I mean? Like it's like a thing. And the fact that, you're doing what you're doing is such a service to the community. It's not just to me and, to others who really, I think about everything in depth. You know what I'm saying? You're very welcome, sister. I think about everything in depth. You know what I mean? And it's not just, you're styling hair. People like to shrug stuff off like that. Like my wife was talking about how there's like a stigma on hairstylists, like they're unserious people somehow. That is a very important thing, that women do for other women, and even helping guys look their best as well. My hairstylist has always been a female as well. It's a very important thing. It does a lot for people's self-esteem. It is a service,
right?
As well as a profession or whatever the case may be. It's a service. It's not just something superficial. I want people to understand that.
People fail to realize that your hair is your glory.
Facts.
You take it for granted when you have it, but when you don't have it, you don't take it for granted anymore. So protect and take care of what you have. So when you don't have it, you don't have to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Protect what you have, and that's basically with anything in life. You cherish it, you enjoy it while you have it, but then once you don't want, you know, you I'm sorry, you take it for granted when you have it. It's nothing, you know what I'm saying? But once you don't have it anymore, then it's like, oh my God, what do I need to do? Should I go to a dermatologist? Should I go see a trichologist?
Yeah.
Now, that way you don't have to get there, or you don't have to, go through the trials and tribulations because you don't have it anymore. Take care of what you have, that way you don't have to worry about it.
There it is. And one more thing, and I'll park the Chevy, I promise. I just want to go out of my way and say this to you, as well as most of the women that we've had on this show. You know, you have been extraordinarily pleasant.
Oh, thank you.
Very polite, very just you're like a ray of sunshine. You're very bubbly, really cool, and all that type of stuff. And you know, when we're on social media, as we are all the time, you know, you just see the muck slinging, you know, muck slinging back and forth between the genders, you know, and I push back, or I say some things that are critical of women, but I'm critical of those particular women. I don't paint with the broad brush. You understand? I'm still going to say what I got to say, but I don't paint with a broad brush. I want to point out that there are very decent, very pleasant, very, genuine women out there, and guys don't, guys, gals, everybody, nobody has to walk around with the gas face, talking about how, oh, these people, they ain't shit, and these people, they ain't shit. That's unnecessary. A lot of times you got to water the flowers that you want to grow. And I love seeing pleasant, intelligent sisters that can come on and speak with confidence and competence and really just hold their own. I love it. It's fantastic. Shout out to you for that. I'll park the Chevy.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yes, you carry yourself very well.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Bobby Dre. Yes.
No, definitely echo all those sentiments, Major. Absolutely. And again, and I think sometimes as men, probably we're guilty of this more than anybody else. We tend to be very critical about women, and specifically when it comes to cosmetics and their hairstyles. And we all have our different preferences as far as what we like to see with women and different reasons for it. I have mine. I'm no exception to that. But even with that, even if you have specific preferences and strong reasons for feeling that way, you also have to be mindful and understand the other side of the fence, the other potential feelings and sentiments that women have as well.
Right.
And we need to understand that while we can have our preferences, we need to be able to see where they're coming from. So even if we still want to have our stances, we still want to be very much against certain things, we need to still be able to understand where the ladies are coming from.
Right.
Funny enough, I saw a post a day or two ago where someone kind of took me back in time a little bit, and they mentioned I'm a late 80s baby, right? Late 80s baby. And so this is true for my folk and further back, but they actually took back a time and reminded me that, there was a time when in the 80s and 90s, the biggest flex you could have as a woman as a black woman, I don't know what it was for anybody else. I'm just speaking for me and mine. But the biggest flex for a black woman was to be able to have a big old full head of hair down to the shoulders, mid-back, all the way down to the bottom. And it was, well, this is my hair.
Right.
And they're talking about, they don't understand how the migration has come to this point where nowadays where, you have women that get full out wigs.
Right.
The women are proud of it. I spent $400, I spent $500 on this wig, whatever. Back in our day coming up, for a woman to be called out for having a wig, that was a huge black eye. It's like wigs were for grandmas. Don't miss the fact that you got extensions, wigs, they're going to look at you like you 70, 80 years plus. That was a huge L.
It was.
But nowadays, women are proud to announce, I got this and I paid X amount for it. But for women of our generation, that was a huge L. Right. So I can imagine maybe for some of your younger clients, if you have younger ones, that might not be as much like that today. But for a woman from our age and on up, to be able to come to you and actually get an alternate styling of their hair that doesn't call for a big old wig, regardless of how much was paid for it,
right? That
has to be a huge liberating thing. They can walk around, and even if they're not sure what it is that's going on, they know whatever that is. I know it ain't a wig. I don't know if it's frontals. I don't know what it is, but I know that's not a wig.
Right.
And so that alone is liberating, where they're not tied to those constraints of alopecia and women suffering from that baldness, or whatever.
Right.
And you know, anytime I hear the conversation about hair, I'm always reminded of the Barbershop franchise. And it's not one of my favorite films, but one of the things, and tip my hat to Ice Cube for that, I do like how the Barbershop, and then later on the spinoff of Beauty Shop, how it really portrayed and showcased the importance of the barbershop, the hair salon, and hair care in our communities. And real quick, I'm going to share 2 quick quotes from the film that's speaking again on the barbershop, but it also parallels to the beauty salon as well, too. You got Eddie, who's played by Cedric, the entertainer. And he was talking about, see, in my day, a barber was more than just somebody who sit around in a FUBU shirt with his drawers hanging out all day. In my day, a barber was a counselor.
Right.
He was a fashion expert, a style coach, pimp, just general all-around hustler. But nowadays, probably y'all cats days, you've got no skill, no sense of history. Mm-hmm. And then with a straight face, got the nerve to want to be somebody, want somebody to respect you.
Right.
And then later on in the film, there's a point where Calvin, who's played by Ice Cube, he wants to go ahead, he decides that he's going to sell the shop. And he lets Eddie know, who's the oldest serving barber in the shop. And then Eddie says to him, this ain't no goddamn School of the Blind, Calvin. This is the barbershop. This is the place where a black man means something.
Right.
Cornerstone of the neighborhood. Our own country club. So for the longest time, you know, going back into slavery and Jim Crow and everything, where black people were nobody. They were treated as worse than the gum on the bottom of your shoe.
Right.
You know, you have to get off the curb if a white person's coming by. They're calling you boy, they're calling you girl, even if they're a little boy or girl themselves. Mm-hmm. But the barbershop, the beauty salon, that was the place where we came and we didn't just walk out looking like somebody, but we got to be affirmed by our own. We got to feel better. We had a sounding board for our issues. Like you mentioned yourself, you know, you get to build a rapport with the customers. They get to express themselves and feel heard.
Right.
And they walk out. They don't just look good on the outside. They look like they can go ahead and clean up, but internally they feel better too.
Feel good, right?
So what you do is a huge service to the community. I think you know that as well too.
Right.
But these places that service our hair and the way we look, it's not just about our external aesthetics, but it's about walking out a different person than we walked in.
Right.
So you truly are, as Ann said, you truly are doing God's work, and all of our service providers, you know, big ups to what you do for not just remaking the outside, but remaking the whole person.
Right.
That's not to be slept on. It's a huge service. We definitely appreciate it. Tip our hats to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you.
Yes. All right. So definitely you guys can follow her. Like I said, here's her Instagram. Make sure you go over there, hit the follow, subscribe to the page, and definitely, even if you don't get any services, you know, it's always great to give some DM messages of how great she's doing. And because, you know, people got to check on their strongest people, man. We're going through times right now where we're going through spiritual, physical warfare. And sometimes it's just the slightest, hey, you're doing a great job. I'm inspired by your page. That goes a long way, man, especially in the era where a lot of people are having low self-esteem and really don't want to be here anymore. But because they hear that one positive statement from you, it changes their whole life and even the aspect, and makes them want to go on and continue on. So even just doing that, you know, is a great thing. So thank you so much, Bella, for being here, and everybody else that joined in on the live. We're definitely going to finish up on the second part, but we wanted to make sure that we respected your time. And thank you so much for just giving the opportunity of sharing what God has blessed you with. And maybe from this show, you probably get more added on to the enough that you have, you know, the abundance of joy.
Everybody's welcome.
Booked and busy. Booked and busy.
I received that. I received all of it.
I need an out of business sign on the page saying we cannot take any more clients for such a period. I need her overwhelmed.
Listen,
Y'all do that.
I only have 10 fingers, but I guess I'll figure it out.
and we need all 10 occupied. We need 11 figures occupied. Find another one. Find another one.
Right. But I want to say thank you for having me. I really enjoyed my time here with you guys. And I appreciate the shout out, and God bless you guys.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Have a great night, Quinn.
You
Take
too.
care. All right, sis.
All right, man. Super dope queen, man. Super dope. I already knew that she had, like, when I spoke to her, you know, certain people, you could just feel their energy. You could feel where they come from.
Yes.
It's kind of like before when, you know, I would talk about it so much how no matter how ignorant you could be in your element, like when you get around your friends, you could be real, like, you know, us, right? We can code switch and be up real prissy at work, but then we get around the fellas and we let it all hang out. And it's just like, yeah, man, you know, dad, dog, we do this. And you could be up in a little area and we conversate and we might say some reckless words and statements. But the minute a woman of caliber comes around, we hitting each other like, nah, dog, don't say that. You know, don't say that around this woman, or we're straightening up our pants and we making sure that we're presentable, because her essence, her divine femininity, her essence, the way she rolls into that space automatically commands control and organization before she even speaks. And I got that from her when I was talking to her. And I said, yo, this will be a very powerful interview, because she exudes everything, like Major was saying, of a very polite, very educational, very intelligent woman that presents herself in such a great light. And that's why a lot of people don't understand. It's people like that you can't do bad. So as much as that woman scammed just for that one hairstyle, this lady got abundance of people and business because of that. So you can't scam one of God's angels like that. It's always gonna work out in their favor. So I'm just glad that, you know, things worked out for her. And it also puts a bigger alert on other hairstylists as well that are out there to say, you know what, I got to protect myself. She changed her rules based on that happening. And sometimes you can learn from people without having the experience. You can see some of the rules that she do and implement it so it don't happen to you and you don't have to go through that and suffer that loss. So a lot of people think that you have to suffer a loss in order for you to curate that. No, sometimes you learn from other people's loss and you learn not to take the L in that direction as well. You know, so definitely shout out to her for that, man.
Yeah, I'm glad anytime. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm glad anytime we can get a sister on that, you know, proves these naysayers wrong. You know, everybody is rooting against Black women. And see, this is the thing. This is what I don't like. You know, when you get these bobbleheads that come out talking about how, oh, we hate the women's, oh, y'all hate the women's. No, it's never been farther from the truth. I do dislike a certain type of woman and a certain type of behavior that I see on a lot of women, as we all should. You understand what I'm saying? But I like when sisters come through and they prove that not all sisters are like that. You understand? That's what I love to see. I love to see when a sister come through and, you know, she's knowledgeable, she's intelligent, she's kind. These are not things that we were starved to see in sisters back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, a lot of the loudest, raunchiest women are the ones that keep getting put on the platform. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where we are very different. We don't put no ratchets on here. A lot of these little podcast monkeys, like Fresh and Fit, and like, you know, some of these other people out here, you know, they go out of their way to find the dumbest women possible to put on their podcast so that they can talk about them. They can talk to them about complex issues and it'll make them look smart because they know that these are not necessarily the most intelligent sisters. You understand? We bring intelligent sisters on here only. You can't get on here if you're not an intelligent sister that know how to act. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the the glaring contrast in what we do here and what they do on other podcasts. And I wish more people would just, see it for what it is and stop trying to create these false straw men. Absolutely, that's what they do. Because all of us absolutely love women, always have. You understand what I'm saying? But people will go out of their way and try to paint you as something because they can't debate you. There are women that we know that are terrified to come on this show. Not because we hate women in real life. We don't hate women, but they know that if they come on here talking, some of that feminist nonsense that they like to talk, they're going to get checked and they're going to be challenged. You know what I'm saying? And there's a difference between somebody that will challenge some flawed thinking and someone who just hates an entire gender because that is what they are, that gender. That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because we praise sisters every week. You know what I'm saying? It just, unfortunately, a lot of these women that complain, the type of sisters that we praise ain't the type of sisters that they are. And I'll just talk to Chevy on that. But that's just delightful. I like to see more sisters like that.
I was trying to find this meme for her. It's very funny. I was dying laughing, but I couldn't find it because it was a little glitch on my computer real quick. But now I found it. And I was going to show this.
Man,
fact. They still wear their hair like that, and they still fast as hell.
I know, right? All facts. I started laughing.
Hey,
oh man,
back in the day, I used to have a thing with them track athletes, and most of them had that short hair. So that's why I know some dudes they tripping the hair is short, but me. That already got engraved. Short hair track. Ooh. Ain't never had that.
Facts. Renee just said it too. That's what it's not just that show either, Miller. It's most of or a good percentage of these podcasts. I saw some dude on here. I gotta find his name so I can do a video on his goofy ass. And he was just talking about, how I forget Stacy somebody. You know what I'm talking about? Or is it Tracy? He's got a girl's name as his first name. It's either Stacy or Tracy. And he is a fire-breathing coon. And he was up here talking about how, black men, they can always find solace in a white woman and how much better white women are than black women. Oh, this nigga was just buck dancing. And I'm like, oh, my God. And
I dance for a
mess. Okay, yes. One of them.
Jigaboo antics, boy.
I mean, this dude is like he just comes plantation ready. You understand? And
I think I know who you're talking. Oh, okay.
He wears a suit.
I think I've seen her in passing. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and I'm just like, wow. And I just heard of this guy. He just popped out of the woodwork, and he's already got like over 150,000 subscribers. It's like when you see a plant. Because he's talking about how, I don't think you're going to see black men with black women no more at all. I mean, says who? Black men still date within our race 89% of the time? Because they love
high 80s.
It's high 80s. It's 89%.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they love to harp on that because, they talk about how we date out of our race more than any other group of men, which is true, unfortunately. However, the number is still very high within our race. They never say that. You know what I'm saying? We date 89% within our own race. And same with black women. Black women overwhelmingly still date mostly black men. So as many problems as there are out here, as many Cardi B and Offsets and goddamn what's the other one? Drea and this toddler she's dating. As many of those people as it is out here, you understand? You still have enough real people in real life that overwhelmingly date within the race. And when you see people try to exploit that and make it look like more than it is, oh my God, it's just that we ain't never gonna stop dating outside our race. That's by design. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so glad you said that, right?
Yeah.
Because I was going to go ahead and jump off into this next segment real quick.
Go ahead.
Right? And now it's time for trending celebrity news. Take it away, fellas.
All right. So with our trending celebrity news, and you just talked about Cardi B, and I find it very interesting that a lot of women are cheering and campaigning for Cardi B because she announced on the Gayle King show that she was pregnant with her boyfriend's child. Now, mind you, she's still married. And now nobody wants to talk about, hey, you're still married. Why are you being married? Conceiving while being married. And people don't understand the legality behind it because so many women just want to campaign and just, oh, women empowerment and all this bullshit, even if it is in a direction that is not a positive one. You know, you got to hold women accountable, got to hold men accountable. We hold both men and women accountable on this channel. The problem is a lot of people only see that they only focus on when we hold women accountable, but they don't understand that so many times we hold men accountable. And knowing that this guy has already 2 other women pregnant at the same time. So it's 3 women pregnant. You got Cardi B, and then these 2 other women that's expecting at the same time. So you got congratulations to Stephon Diggs and his baby moms, Kay and Giselle, as both ladies are welcomed 2 beautiful baby girls that are in just a few months apart. He recently shared under his new baby mom, Cardi B, IG comment section that he's looking up Spanish names and he is hoping for a boy. Cheers to the large happy family. And this is a woman sitting here promoting this and giving props to this. Then when you look down into it, right? Here you go with the connection. See, everything seems like it's good, but everybody connected now. So you got Sierra Russ, then Sierra's tied to Future. Future's tied to Chavez with a child. Bow Wow is tied to Chavez with a child. Then you come down to Stephon Diggs' brother. Trayvon Diggs' brother, which is Stephon's brother, So you come down to Trayvon, he has a child with that. And then Yasmin Lopez with her. Then Yasmin and the basketball player Wood. Then you got Stephon with Cardi B, who's connected to Offset. So it's a whole circle of family members. And this is the problem where you're now creating so much children out of the wedlock that you're also creating something else that's going to be a bigger problem later on down the road, which is incest. Because a lot of the times these people are not going to have family reunions and they're going to go ahead and keep creating. And the more they expand away from the coreness of the family, the more they're going to end up coming into somewhere where they end up meeting up, especially on social media, bringing them to a 20-year reunion cookout and realizing that you are sleeping with your cousin, which we're seeing a lot of stuff happening more often now. So I was looking at that and I said to myself, it's crazy how this stuff just keeps getting. And then you have Summer Walker, who broke up with a guy. Then she had this mystery guy that she just exposed him, a white guy. And this white guy, everybody's going crazy because the whole Zaddy effect in the Black women community. They're applauding Summer. Oh man, get it, girl. I want a guy like you and this and that and the one you got. And then you saw there's a video that's circulating now where you had she was at a Chris Brown, right? And Chris Brown chooses her to put her on stage as a take you down routine. And I had to screenshot it because I can't play the video because of the music. And I screenshot this because this is a famous position that a lot of women always, I see some of the women that you have 4 or 5 degrees, that act like that they so stand up. They're the wholesome women. But when you ask them what type of, sexual encounters that they want to get into, I want a guy to choke the hell out of me. So I had screenshot this moment as you look at Chris Brown's face, his arm around her neck, the expression, and it's turning her all the way on. This is that's turned off by that. This is a woman who's turned on by that. You know? And then this screenshot, he's reaching over, but he looks like he was giving her a kiss, but then he smooches her on the cheek. But I say all of that because even if you are a woman that wants to go out here and do what you feel like you can do, you're a grown woman, how does that look when you are out here supposedly supposed to be dating a guy is courting you, and you're on stage behaving in that way, in that motion? We've seen that with Keke Palmer, and her child's father, and another man's coming up and entertaining you because it's part of his routine. But that's not taken well, especially if you have somebody that you're supposed to be, in a relationship with, or somebody that is confined into your family that you're trying to create together. So I wanted to show that part of it and just get your guys' feedback on what you think about that whole. I know you guys heard about it. What do you think about that?
I think it's I mean, it's so much there. You talked about a couple different things. I'm gonna stick with Cardi B. I mean, Summer Walker is just kind of doing what Summer Walker does as well. You know what I'm saying? It's very unfortunate, but what we're seeing a lot of is the promotion of the image of the Scarlet Woman. And those of you who don't know what that is something that is a reference that comes from Aleister Crowley, who's a world-renowned Satanist. He referred to himself as 666 the Beast. And most of the entertainment industry draws influence from Aleister Crowley. And that is what he used to call his women. He used to call his women, they were his Scarlet Women. And, the Scarlet Woman was the mother of all abominations. It was a thing, for his women to defile themselves and to do so publicly. You understand? This was a thing. That's where, with Kanye West, when you saw him at the award show come in there with his so-called wife, and she comes there and she gets in front of the camera and she just dropped her cloak and, she was butt-ass naked. That's what they do in the beginning of the Thelema rituals. Thelema is the sex cult. That's what they do in the beginning of those rituals. That went over everybody's head, but that's what it actually is. And, you're seeing more and more of this. Women think that it's empowering. And I've had women that I thought was intelligent come out and say that this type of debauchery is empowering somehow. And I refer back to what my mother always said, what's so empowering about shaking your ass? You see, I can remember back in the 90s when I was growing up, and hell, they went after everybody who was dissing women. Jada Pinkett Smith, the woman she is today, when she was a child, she actually had a lot more sense. She called Eazy-E out. When I listen to your music, it doesn't make me feel good about myself as a young woman. That's what she said then. Look at her now. When Nelly came out with that tip drill, and women came for Nelly. They boycotted Nelly. A whole college came after him when they saw him swipe that credit card between that girl's ass cheeks. Women were offended by that. Now they smile. They love it. You understand what I'm saying? And I asked women about these type of things because I want to hear from the horse's mouth. And some of the responses that I'm getting are just not very intelligent. I even asked someone that we know, okay, well, what's the difference between the Nelly tip drill video that y'all were so mad about and the Cardi B video with City Girls? What was it? The twerk video. She said, oh, it wasn't hardly no men. It wasn't no men in the twerk video. Are you listening to yourself? And she really thought that was an intelligent response. What? No, you couldn't be more wrong, and that's the problem that I have. When you try to make an intelligent conversation, you really try to understand, they give you bullshit. So you shaking your ass in front of a bunch of men and defiling yourself in front of a bunch of men. That's disrespectful. That's horrible. That's, oh my God, that's the worst thing in the world. We need to boycott that. But if you're doing it and it's just you and a bunch of women on camera that's going to be shown to the world where other men are going to see it too, well, that's somehow okay. They really believe this bullshit. It's despicable. How the fuck you gonna be somebody's wife and baby mother at the same time? Yeah, and women are out here co-signing this. You understand? This is the influence of Satanism in entertainment. I'm gonna call it what it is. That's just what it is. There's no nice way to say it. Anytime that you proud that you somebody's wife and somebody else's baby mama at the same goddamn time, you downgraded from a wife to a baby mama, and you're gonna be both right now. There's something wrong with you, and there's something even more wrong with the women that follow and support you. She got an interview with Gayle King, who's allegedly a credible journalist, to talk about this shit. And women are just praising it. They're running with it like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. That says a lot about the quality of modern women. Well, and I mean, another sister said that it's not even a baby created or conceived in love. This other sister I follow, she was like, that's a revenge baby. And I have to kind of agree with it. You know what I'm saying? And you got this guy who got 2 other women pregnant while you're pregnant. And that's cool. That was your upgrade from Offset? Seriously? This is the guy that's going to help you heal? And the crowd goes wild. Bruh.
Well said.
What's wrong with y'all?
Well said. Heavy. Yeah, definitely. Bobby, what you got for us?
Oh, man. Like I said elsewhere, no matter what, cream will always rise to the top. But you know what else will always rise to the top? Shit.
Facts.
Dookie. Turds.
Facts.
They're going to float right on up. Wobble, 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 wobble right at the top. Oh, man. That whole diagram, I think I was one that put you onto that one earlier, man. That whole diagram is interesting. Because first and foremost, understand that if the time and energy and research was actually invested to expand upon that map right there, that little degree of separation map, understand it would get very, very troubling very, very quickly. Just right there alone, which if we want to look at that as currently is presented to us with Joy Chavez as the nexus, there's only roughly 3 degrees of separation between her and Offset. About, I think, 2 degrees of separation between her and Russell Wilson. And as it stands, it's about 6 degrees of separation between Offset and Russell Wilson. I think they say that on average is roughly 6 degrees of separation between everybody on the whole planet. That means between yourself, Major, and someone out in the Philippines, somewhere there's roughly 6 degrees of separation. There's roughly about 7 different relationships between different people that gets the other person. But on a map like that, and I've been saying for the longest time, I've been baffled about how it seems that all of Hollywood, which includes the music industry and the film industry, the whole entertainment industry as a whole, and sports and entertainment, I believe it's actually smaller than that, because every time I look up, these people keep on having sex in a circle, it seems. It's like, so no one can find a mate elsewhere. To this day, I still wildly give a standing ovation. I'm talking about throwing roses and everything on the stage for Idris Elba. Because he started out dating Kay Michelle, which is a horrible choice. But he ended up dating and married a sister from Canada who has roots over in Africa. I'm like, wow. So somehow he was one of the few brothers who managed to find somebody that wasn't even in those circles. It's amazing. It shouldn't be, because I mean, if you're a top of the line A-list or B-list celebrity, literally the whole world is the oyster. I don't understand why you can only seem to find someone to deal with the same locations. But hey, that's maybe that's why I'm not at that level now. Who knows? But it's amazing how everyone keeps on doing the same old ghetto polygamy routines. And maybe it'll be a little different if these were top quality people that we were talking about. You know, you have elite, astute people, highly intelligent, highly successful.
No,
it's not the case. It's literally
not even close.
It's literally wealthy people's septic tanks mingling with other wealthy people's septic tanks. It's higher class to be sure, but higher class at the bottom of the pole. And it's amazing. But I think the more important thing to take away from here is the people that champion this kind of behavior. Because I said for the longest, and I've referred to this, there was a video that Brother Jason Black did many, many years ago, where he first jumped into the subject of what he dubbed the sophista ratchet. These would be your well-educated, very accomplished, high-earning women. They live in excellent neighborhoods, drive amazing cars. Their life, by all stretch of the imagination, is what the average woman would aspire to. And you would think that these women who are judges, attorneys, doctors, professors, name the high-level profession they fit the bill, you would think that they would be far removed from it. But these women are some of the chief consumers of this ratchet culture. They can't get enough of the ratchet reality TV shows. The Cardi B, the trap music, the loudest ones bumping and blasting it in their Audis and in their Bentleys and their McLarens and everything else. Everything about this ratchet culture they gravitate to when you think they'll be so far removed from it. And Jason is a man who, you know, he puts out content on the regular, blasting against white supremacy, going against the grain. And despite all that, the video that was taken down the fastest was that video, because there were so many complaints against it. I believe it was safe to say from the same women that it was calling out and their eunuch familiars. But it was crazy that you have the women that supposedly are above this, they're too good for this. They're right down in the muck and the mire with the other women that supposedly are the embodiment of this. And so it doesn't surprise me to see a lot of the women co-signing this and making excuses for this, because I've seen that there's a lot of women, and that's why I've always said that it's important to pay attention to see who people gravitate to. When you look at these posts that have this ratchet content or these ratchet things, yes, even these skits, the skits might be fake, the content might be fake, yes, but it's still valuable because what is not being faked, what is not falsified, are the reactions to this.
That's correct.
When you see the likes, the love reactions, or if it's on the opposite side, the laugh reactions, the angry reactions, and the comments, it's not falsified. You know, back in the day, they used to have what they called I forgot the exact terminology, but basically they would go ahead and pay people off the street, the average man or woman, to come in, and they would have these services where they would expose them to certain videos or certain new books or marketing campaigns, whatever. Companies would invest big money because marketing, the marketing industry, it's a multi-billion, if not trillion-dollar industry. They want to know how we think so they can know how to market the products to us. They would pay the average Joe man and woman on the street to come in and review their products, look at our toys, our books, our shows, whatever. What do you think about this? How does this make you feel? So they can get that insight from us, right? And they used to pay people for the time. Nowadays, those companies, they don't have to do that. They don't have to bring you in and have you in on the 17th floor in a little room with glass windows, one-way windows, so you can watch and see the reactions in real time. They don't have to do that anymore. They just have to have social media and watch and see how you react and respond to certain content. And they can get all that, what used to cost them money, they can get that for free right now with the dedicated social media team to keep eyes on trends and everything else. And so when you see this, understand that yes, the content may or may not be fake and falsified, but the reactions, the 19,000 responses to it, the virality of these things, that's real. So when you see certain posts that have a whole bunch of women or men or whatever liking, responding to it, understand you are really getting a real-time insight into the way people think. Because they're more comfortable than ever. Because when they're on there, even in the other cases, people might still try to put them on the front because they have to be face-to-face with other people of their peer groups. But when people are on these devices, this is like anonymity for them. It doesn't matter if their pictures associated with it, if they have friends and family on it. When people are on these devices, they feel anonymous, which means they feel emboldened to respond in a way they probably wouldn't do in real life. But that's seeing the true mirror of these people, how they think, what they believe, and what they lean towards. So trust me when I say, when you see these reactions, you're getting the real deal. So when certain people are gravitating towards these ratchet scenarios and situations, that's not an anomaly. That's not paid. Those aren't bots. You're looking at real people. A few people, maybe 100 people could be falsified. But you're not getting thousands and thousands and thousands of people responding the same way, and that's all bots. Those are human beings.
Yeah.
So bear that in mind.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to just, before you move on, and I just want to add in these couple little nuggets. I'm not sure if you knew this or not before you said it, Bobby, but that term sophistiratchet, as I know it, actually came from Angela Rye. So I'm not surprised that video got taken down so quickly, because you know who Angela Rye is affiliated with. She's a Democrat puppet. So, you know, I'm sure she probably, definitely off the chain. And it's very interesting that someone who is supposedly a high value woman or a high quality woman like Angela Rye would refer to themselves as sophistiratchet. Why do you, of all people, want to be so ratchet? There's nothing ratchet about Angela Rye, at least not on the surface, but that's a whole other conversation. And Stephon Diggs carries himself like a plantation buck. You know, he just straight up does. There's nothing, you know, that strikes me as high value or high quality about this man at all. And the fact that Cardi B went to him after leaving Offset is laughable. And it shows me
she left Offset for Onset.
I'm just saying, bro. You jumped out the shit and into the vomit. What are you doing? You understand? Like, this is what it is. And it reinforces the point that to a lot of these women, cheating, because that was supposedly the whole issue with Offset, that he kept cheating. Well, shit, this nigga got 2 other women pregnant and you bouncing off the walls. You understand what I'm saying? And allegedly. And the fact that, you know, she wants him now, whatever the case may be, and a lot of other examples, Nick Cannon, Tristan Thompson, all of Cam Newton, all these dudes that just go around just slinging seed and it's okay. The women just run to him. It shows that cheating really isn't the issue. It's that you don't have a lot of money and you're cheating. I just wanted to make sure I put that out there for all the bullshit. Oh, y'all men's is cheaters. Oh Lord, y'all always cheating at it. They talk all this shit. And there is a line of women waiting for these men who show you every time they breathe, they don't really give a fuck about you, but they got a lot of money. So here you are lining your whole ass up to have their children. I'll park this
real quick before we go on. I just want to also toss on because someone actually sent me something that actually reminded me of something else. They sent me a video of and I wish it was AI. I wish it was AI, but it's not AI. Someone sent me a recent video. I don't know what it was taken, but a recent video of Cardi B. I guess this is her whole clap back at the people who have something to say about her getting knocked up by Stephon Diggs while in the middle of her whole thing. When she's at a mall, I guess, I don't know if it's a video shoot or what the case might be, because mind you, she does have another album coming out. So there's no such thing as bad promo, I guess. She's at a mall, a public setting in broad daylight, Pregnant. You can see the belly. It's not like she's, got one of these modern day hidden prego bellies. Nowadays women, they get pregnant, they look like they just ate a little too much and all of a sudden whole human. No, she has a prego belly.
Yeah.
She's out here with a sheer dress on. You can see her breasts, you can see her areolas, you can see all of you will know intimately and be able to draw her breasts from memory. That's how sheer this material is. See how dancing out here, just twerking everything, dropping down dropping down, getting an eagle on the whole 9 yards, pregnant with this man's baby.
She got that from Sierra.
And mind you, this was the woman who not too long ago was invited to host a town hall meeting or an interview with a presidential candidate.
How about that?
Not a woman of class and of substance, but this was supposedly the representative specifically of Black women. And this is, they said, well, we're having a serious election. We want to be taken seriously. We want to go ahead and bring someone that the people resonate with, who is a representative of them, to address their concerns and to ask questions for something as serious as an election. And they said, Belle Calise, whatever her last name is, this
we
is the
need
ideal
Cardi
person
B
for that. When we want someone to represent Black people, specifically Black women, this chick, who's out here getting her cheeks clapped while still married, and conceiving the child of this man, and proudly flaunting it, when being reminded of the fact that he has multiple baby mamas saying, well, we just all going to get it together and figure it out. This is who they said is the ideal woman to represent Black women. This is your mascot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dang.
Just something to think about. That's all. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Just something to think about.
Well said. I definitely was gonna show you guys this. I'll just show it real quick. I guess we'll just chop it up because we're running out of time. But just like how we are holding these women accountable, we're holding these men accountable too. There's a lot of sucker shit going on with a lot of men, and a lot of men, man, y'all got to check these niggas on these stuff, because at the end of the day, they have homeboys, they have friends, they have family members, they have uncles, they have fathers, they have cousins. Like, you got to check your cousin. You got to check whoever it is around you that's doing foul, janky stuff. This dude should have got checked a long time ago before he even got to this stage. Florida man faces 8 felony charges after stalking girlfriend with an Apple Watch, pointing a firearm at her and assaulting her, and allegedly sending a text he was going to Swiss cheese her car. You know, this type of F-boy behavior, along with this guy here, this is another POS, piece of decomposed body found in singer David's impounded Tesla, identified as 15-year-old girl. And it goes down, they break down the story,
We gotta talk. We gotta use a whole show segment on him. He that's a whole thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just rush through it because we'll definitely capitalize on it another day. But you know, after they found him, they found that there was infant remains were discovered near his residence, and it confirmed that the 15-year-old was pregnant. Mind you, this dude was on live with her. See her in the background at that time. It was 2023, and she was 13 years old at that time, Celeste Hernandez. And some guy was like, he said, "Hey, who's that girl?" And the dude responded, David responded as, "Oh, who are you, the feds?" And you know, this guy is just on some real stupid stuff. I remember the mother came out and she identified that her daughter and this guy had this matching tattoos. So when they had found her, that's how they identified her body, because of that tattoo that the mother identified and linked them to this guy. So apparently, you know, he ended up talking to this girl at the age of 13, grooming her at 13 to 15, and then end up getting her pregnant. And I think he thought it was gonna ruin his life. So he wanted to get rid of her to do damage control. And now it's gonna come back on him 10 times as worse, because now you're gonna go down for allegedly the murder behind it. I think they're doing the active investigation and linking everything together. I'm not sure if he's charged yet or how that situation went down, but yeah, so that's going to come. But we definitely get into that another time. I do want to show that we do hold men accountable. We hold men accountable. We've always hold men accountable. You know who else hold men accountable?
Not the dominant alpha male or the super select. They're not the dominant alpha male or the super select guy. The only way you're going to end up becoming pre-select is by approaching women.
So women can tell I'm not getting no play?
Anybody, all 462 people in the chat room can tell you ain't getting no play. That's the energy you're getting. Because you're a guy that said you don't think you should have to approach women. They should give you choosing signals. Where would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? How tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
5'10". How much do you weigh?
I weigh about...
To what?
Depending on the day, between 280 to 285.
So you're a fat fucker.
Yeah.
So you think a 5'10", almost 300-pound dude, how much money you make?
Like 400 every 2 weeks.
So you make 400 every 2 weeks. So you make 800 a month. You make less than $10,000 a year. Okay.
But how many 20-year-olds was him?
Hold on. Dude, I was a 20-year-old and I was making far more money than that. In the 80s, where minimum wage was $3.35 an hour. So I need to hear it. How long? You got a big dick?
Huh?
You have a big dick?
I mean, it's above average. I ain't no Ron Jeremy.
No. I asked you if you had a big dick. I didn't say it was above average.
I don't know what that is.
Nigga, you know if you got a big dick or not. Stop the bullshit.
Pause.
Every dude know whether or not he got a big dick. I know I got a big dick. You don't know?
I mean,
you don't have a big dick. That's the point. You don't have a big dick. You don't have a big wallet. You're a fat dude.
Pause.
And you got a lot of nerve thinking you should get choosing signals at 5'10" and 300 pounds, making less than $1,000 a month at 20 years old. And women should approach you. What they get, they don't even get a big dick.
Evil. No, I had to show that, right?
Pause.
Because,
I'm sorry. Pause.
No, there's no pause. There's no pause in that because you have to be real with dudes. Because a lot of low energy ass niggas out here, and I don't got time for this shit. Like, we really got to check a lot of these low energy niggas because it rubs off as us on a broad brush. Like, this guy had a nerve. You're a fat dude. You don't have money. You damn near under poverty rate, $10,000. Like, what the fuck is that? That wouldn't even help you in 2010. $10,000. Like, that's not enough money. You feel like women should approach you. You're not in the best shape. You over 200 and something pounds. You sloppy and think that women are supposed to gravitate to you and uplift you. No, we don't condone that type of shit out of there. You need to get into the weight room. Make sure that you go out there and fix yourself up to be the best person you could be out there. Because if it was the opposite, if you was a dude who was fit, on his game, had money, and a fat girl came up to you the same way you built, she's built, and had the same attitude, oh, you should approach me like I'm a dime piece and this and that, you would look at that lady like she crazy. So you, as a man, got to be in the mindset to think like, hey, I got to present myself and put the best of me out there for somebody else. Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're lined up with a mate that's going to help you out and take care of you. In the long run, you take care of each other, because as big as you are and you having this illusion that everybody should be on your time, nigga, you'll be dead by yourself. Nobody's taking care of you, and you passing away, and nobody gives a fuck about you. So you gotta have this attitude that, look, man, as much as you can complain about women and what they do, make sure that your house is clean. Make sure your front door is swept, because 4 fingers can come back at the 2 you pointing at somebody else. So we do the same thing here. We hold people accountable. The problem is a lot of women don't understand that when we hold men accountable, and kudos to that guy, because I'll give him credit, He was trying to learn what he needed to do to correct his problems and his issues that he was having. And I'll just, before I get to our final crown check, I want to show another video of holding somebody accountable as well.
Black women have been my enemy my entire life.
They've been your what?
My enemy.
What do you mean your enemy?
Was pursuing a dual doctorate degree in medicine and in chemistry.
I'm a PhD.
Throughout the entire relationship, the only time that we didn't have an argument or we didn't have any kind of ridiculous back and forth is when we were having sex. Once the orgasm was out the window.
How old are you?
28.
And how long did you
28.
date?
I've known her for 8 years, dated her for 1.
And you dated her to what end? What was the intended outcome?
I was interested in marrying her.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a musician and an Uber driver.
What?
I know.
Are you serious? Are you trolling me? Ninja,
no,
what?
I'm not.
Ninja, what? You're dating. Your enemy is your pocketbook.
I know.
Don't come in and talk about black women as your man. See? I mean, are you being serious, bro?
I am, but the finances is definitely something that I'm working on.
Oh, hell no. A black woman who's dating, you actually came in here to tell me that you dated a black woman who's pursuing 2 dual doctorates.
I'm a PhD.
And you're a goddamn Uber driver and you're a musician. That's not a problem, except you frame black women as your enemy. And your enemy is your inability to be productive on a serious level.
That's not currently true for me.
Well, here's the thing. You said you were looking at her to be a wife, possibly. What makes you a husband?
Outside, from what standpoint?
Can you provide for a family?
Not yet, no.
Then you were dating this woman with the eye to marry her, and you couldn't even provide for a family.
See, and that's the problem. We got to have that hard conversation with people and not bullshit men. Like, yo, listen, dude, you ain't even on your level, but yet you're trying to slander black women and say that they're your enemy. Your enemy is your self-progression. You're unable to get to the level you want to get to, so you projecting that your inner failure on the midst of a black woman. That's bullshit. And this is why we have so much gender wars, because a lot of the wars are started with people that really need to dig deep and dial down into the mirror before realizing that the problem is internal versus external. And I'll land my plane on that before we get into our crown checks, fellas. Y'all just want to say something before we get to the next final stage?
Oh, you said, do you? I thought you said you wanted to say something.
No. I said if you guys want to say something real quick,
yeah.
before I wrap it up and get it to the crown check.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to the Godfather, Kevin Samuels. You know, I had my gripes with him, but when he was on his shit, when he was talking about what he talked about, which is dating and relationships, he was about 85% right most of the time. And, you know, he talked about men only for about 3 years before his show took off. And the reason that his show took off is because he was confronting women, which nobody did at the time. That's what a lot of people like to ignore. He was the only one who would challenge some of these women and their ridiculous concepts. But he was going in on men long before women and way worse. And that is also needed, because you got a lot of these little bubblehead niggas out here too. They don't know nothing. They don't earn nothing. They ain't about nothing. But they want the baddest dime. They want the sun, the moon, and the stars. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, come on, man. You know, and when you don't, like you said earlier, you got to check these guys, because when you don't, they go out there with this goofy ass behavior, and that makes things bad for the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? And that accountability is necessary for everybody. And I've said this a million times. I'm gonna say it a million more. You know, and I just want to point out, you know, it was very interesting when he asked that guy, what makes you a husband? He had no response. Yet and still, you're up here whining about how black women are supposedly your enemy and your biggest enemy, yet you can't even tell someone when they ask you a simple, intelligent question as to what makes you a husband. If you can't answer that, why are you even dating?
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, he asked him, okay, to what end? I was interested in marrying her. Well, if you were interested in marrying her, dumb nigga, then you should understand what it is that makes you a good husband.
Mm.
What are we doing here? It's a very, 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 very solid point that you made. A lot of the times when we're in these gender war conversations, I've come to realize this too. Everybody, because those of us that are enlightened, we tend to kind of understand that it ain't really that serious, you know, and we're assuming that people are putting forth their best selves, and a lot of the time they're not. What's even more unfortunate is they are putting forth their best selves, and their best self is a piece of shit. You know, at the end of the day, until everybody, both male and female, until all of y'all sorry asses are willing to come to the table and make meaningful changes to the way that you behave, nothing will change.
Facts.
I don't give a fuck how many dating and relationship panels you go to. I don't give a fuck how many speed dating shit you go to. I don't give a fuck how many dating and relationship shows you watch. Don't none of that shit matter because you're not willing to make any changes. Male and female, you're not willing to make any changes, and clearly there's something wrong with the way that you are presenting yourself and approaching dating and relationship to begin with. I'll park the Chevy because I know we gotta go. Go ahead.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
Real quick, Bobby.
Oh, Lord. Look, this is game that can be utilized by both men and women alike because for all the griping, for all the back and forth with the gender warring, both genders are inherently guilty of doing the same exact thing against the other, but they just swear up and down that their own cause is so righteous and the other side is just horribly wrong, horribly off, whatever. Understand something. You have no enemies. I'm actually glad that that brother said what he said the way that he said. I'm actually glad, not because he's right, but because it serves to make the point. You know, from day one, you know, black women have been my enemies. No, brother. You have no enemies. If there is an enemy, the enemy is within. You are your own biggest enemy. You your own biggest op. It's you. One of the things that I learned very fast, and not because I'm so amazing or wise or whatever, but just life hit me with it enough times that I was able to, you know, by the grace of God, catch the pass and realize. But one of the biggest life hacks that I've made personally myself is far more often than not stopping. And before I look outside of myself for fault or for blame, I look inside first. And I stop. And in any situation where something has gone sideways or upside down, before I go jump on Anthony's neck, before I jump on Major's neck, I say, hold on a second. Let's pause. Let's do some reflection. Is this my fault? Did Bobby do something that was off? Is Bobby the reason why this turned out the way it did? And even in those moments where I can say, no, it wasn't me. No, this person, this situation, this was outside of myself. I recognize and understand that in every single situation, there are at least two people involved. And one of them is always yourself, because any situation that occurs that happens to you, you're not just someone on the outside looking in. You're part of the story. EA Sports, you're in the game. So even when I can say, you know, Anthony's the person to blame, he's the one that did this to me, I still look at myself and say, okay, it may not be my fault, but is there anything I could have done that could have gotten a different outcome? You know, Anthony deceived me, he played me, but was there something I should have noticed? Did he come a certain way? Did he have a certain look in his eyes? Or was something a little bit off? is there anything I could have done that could have gotten at least a slightly different outcome from this? And more often than not, when I do that, I can see, you know what? There was one thing that I could have done that could have made a difference. Might not have been a huge difference. Might have still got the same as that outcome. But there was something I could have done. I did not utilize every single option that I had on the table in front of me. And just by having that mindset, I've grown so much. I got people that come to me for game. They ask me for advice. Oh, you know, it's amazing. This is that and the third, whatever. And I say, look, it's nothing amazing. I simply look and analyze myself. Because you can't control anybody else outside of yourself. We have a whole lot of helplessness when it comes to the world around us. We can't control the drivers that we're on the street with. We can't control the people in our workplace. We can't control our family members. We can't even control our own kids sometimes. But there is one person, there's one piece on the game board of life that we always have 120% control over. And that's yourself.
Facts.
So when you make it a point, like, you know what, I'm not going to stress about anybody else, anything else. I can't do anything about that. But I'm going to take ruthless accountability over myself. I'm going to make sure that I'm squeezing all the juice out the orange where I'm concerned. Your life will become amazing. And you will get crazy peace because you understand, you know what, I've done every single thing that I could do. Or if you haven't done every single thing you can do, you're like, you know what, I'm not tripping because I know I have action steps. I have things I can do. I have homework I can take on that's going to make me the best version of myself. And I can ensure that that's not going to be me the next time out. But the people that's always saying, yeah, black women have been my enemy from the beginning. It's been black women. Black women have been against me. It's been black men. I'm going to choose the bear. It's been men. Men are the problem. It's the men. Those people, they have horrible lives because they're always getting their asses handed to them and they don't have anything that they can do to fix it. So they're always a victim. Take accountability for yourself. Look and find out what can I do better? How can I step my game up? And you're still going to be subject to life because life be life. All right. No one has a cure for life, but your quality of life, your outcomes, and as a result, your expectations, how you see life, it'll be so much better. The reason why some people they don't have that many problems in life, I can almost guarantee you, it's because they take ruthless accountability and they always look to make sure that they're handling their end of the spectrum. That's why they look at peace, because if there's something that they can be fixed, then they fix it. And if they can say, well, I've done everything I could, there's something that could have been done, then that's just what it's supposed to be. It's fate, it's God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. But whatever it is I'm going through, this is what I'm supposed to deal with. So I'm just going to do it the best way I can. But the people who have not done their investigation and cleared themselves first, they don't have that peace. So they're always nervous. They don't sleep well. They're always upset. They're always stressed out because they're just always under attack. Right?
Yeah.
So Kevin Samuels was on the mark. Look at yourself first. Look at what you have. You have a lot of work to do, brother. Go handle that. Sister, you got a lot of work to do. Don't worry about how, the men hate you, or you're going to go over here, or I'm going to turn to white men. They're the answer. Or, I'm going to date outside my race, whatever. All that stuff, if you haven't cleared you first, then all you're doing is running. And the problem with that is no matter where you go, there you are.
Well said. Well said. All right, so we're going to definitely get into our last segment for the night.
This is the Crown Check segment where we honor our queens. Respect.
All right, our Crown Check for the night is this wonderful woman. Do y'all know who she is?
Nah, I don't.
No. Very iconic, very legendary. This is why we need our own schools. We need our
She has a familiar face.
I've seen the face. I don't know her name.
Okay, let's see if you got. No?
That looks more familiar. This
All
is
right,
someone I know in passing. Who is this?
So let me give you this. It's a clue.
Okay, yeah. That's
right.
fitting. The name ain't coming, but it's fitting. Okay.
Okay, so this is Norma Mutume. So Norma Mutume is a legendary Black Panther. She was actually the finance department of the Black Panthers, right? She was in charge of the money. So
she was important.
She was born in 1949, which makes her 76 today. Her parents were married until she was roughly the age of 4 when they decided to get divorced. She lived in San Diego after she was born, but then moved to Los Angeles after the divorce to live with her mother. As a kid, Norma attended a school that was primarily African-American students. The school was named Jefferson High, and she graduated in the class of 1967. An interview of Library of Congress, she is noted for saying that the community where she lives in LA was poor. As children were, we didn't know that until we left and went to a different part of CA. After that, she joined the Panther Party at the age of 19. She worked her way up to the organization from a program participation in the Ministry of Finance. Originally, she was volunteering at the office of 41st Street, where at that time, she was still trying to get on her feet. Her first roles included helping out the breakfast program, the infamous Section 8 WIC program that weaponized by the government. She was the part of the original Panther program, that free meal, right? Writing speeches. Eventually, like other offices in the healthcare clinic started to come along and needed some help to get in on her feet. Heading down the right direction, Norma was one of the ones who helped set it up. She was quoted as saying in an interview, always had an interest in the body and health. Following her volunteer, she assigned to the clinic and coordinator, which means that she was in charge of running the clinic. Another hat that she wore as being a member of coordinator of finding this herself inside the Panther Party institution. So I definitely wanted to show you guys that part, how intricate she was. She ended up being in the finance department. She was in charge of all the money and things like that. And she was so dope, man. And I think a lot of people don't know who she is. They don't talk about her in the history books or anything like that. So I just wanted, I had to dig. That's part of her Wikipedia, because she doesn't even have a Wikipedia. It's just a column that was dedicated in her backstory. So I had to dig through and find that. And I'll put that out there for y'all. Y'all could go and do more investigation. They also have a museum in Oakland, in California, Oakland, California. The house that you see up there, that's a picture of it. The museum is so much in depth with so much information on the Panthers. I think on the backside, I was told that Huey P. Newton had died on the backside of the building. So that's an iconic building. I definitely would gonna take the time out there to go to California to go visit that. I know you're from California, Major, so definitely you can speak more on that. You know,
no, I'm actually from here, but I lived in California.
Oh, you lived in California. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I lived out there for some time. But yeah. I mean, listen, Cali, most of the things that really have to do with revolution, or a lot of them come from Cali, and they come from the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's part of why. You know, I would say to people, you know, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater when some of the gangster rap so-called elements came to pass or whatever. Gangster rap was never supposed to be what it was. It was actually supposed to be something totally different. They called it reality rap. The media called it gangster rap. You understand what I'm saying? And those of us who were out there then, I lived in Oakland and in the surrounding areas when Too Short was popping and all these guys, we called it reality rap. You know what I'm saying? And the media just took the shit. Oh, it's going to be gangster rap because we're white and we say so. But yeah, you know, very powerful crown check there. Very powerful sister. I didn't know that sister. I had her mixed up with somebody else. But that is right there. You know, those are the type of sisters that we need. Those are the type of sisters that we listen to. And I would like to see those type of sisters duplicated in modern times. You know, this is why I am so hard on the twerk brigade. You understand what I'm saying? Because I know that women can be so much more powerful and contribute so much more. And we need all hands on deck right now, because we are going through a physical, psychological, and spiritual war right now as we speak. You know, and too many people are walking through it eyes wide shut. They have no idea that war is being waged against them. You know, we need powerful sisters. We need sisters that are going to actually contribute something of substance so that we can create this paradigm shift that we so desperately need, because we are in trouble right now. I'll park the Chevy. Go ahead.
Well said.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Close this out, Bobby.
Yeah, I've seen her. I've seen her face before. I've seen her in some pictures with the Black Panthers before. And I think for some reason her face just stood out to me in that moment. But you know, I didn't know that she did all that. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know her name. And shout out to that phenomenal, amazing sister, treasurer, financier, speechwriter, clinician. She's out here helping to heal folks and everything. Coordinator. So many hats, so many talents, so many God-gifted abilities put into use for her people. Sensational, amazing. Blessings to her, tremendously appreciative of her. And it just goes to show the different talents, right, that the Panthers were able to not just, you know, have in their ranks, but also able to utilize. I can imagine that some of these skills, some of these traits, you know, with discrimination and everything else, some of these folks would never be able to really use or utilize anywhere else. They wouldn't be able to get jobs doing these things as a treasurer or an accountant or anything else, but they're able to take those talents, those gifts, those proclivities, and apply them in the Panthers for the service of their people. Amazing. It's, you know, the more you learn about the Panthers, the more you understand why COINTELPRO was so necessary, why they had to go ahead and launch that against that organization. Too much greatness was being cultivated and developed. Not just the Dr. Huey P. Newtons, not just the Fred Hammers and those, but even at the lay worker level, right? Too many people are getting the chance to hone and refine the skills and the gifts and the talents that could have launched them into other avenues of service for us. Makes sense. Great night. Great evening, gentlemen. Great weekend. Want to go ahead and make sure that we tip our hat again to Bella. Want to encourage you all to go ahead and support that sister. Go ahead, follow her page on Instagram. Chart her journey as she grows in her hair care career, and as she's making a huge, tremendous difference in the lives of sisters suffering from alopecia, giving them a second look, a second lease in life, so to speak, where their condition is no longer what defines them, where they're able to live life and have confidence and be proud of themselves and really feel beautiful in their skin naturally, despite their condition. That's an amazing thing that she's doing. The fellas, we may not understand it, but the women, they understand what that's about. So that really, truly is something amazing that she's doing. And go ahead, look through our comments. Her daughter was in there. Follow her, get connected with her. Make sure that if you liked our flyer for this week's episode, make sure you click in with that sister. Get her on some of your projects as well, too. But for more guests and content and more stories like that, I know you see this text. Follow, like, and subscribe. I know you've done it already. I know you've done this already. But do it again. Just double check. YouTube makes mistakes sometimes. They might have unfollowed you. They might have desubscribed you. Make sure you're still current with us. And while you're at it, click that bell icon. Double check and make sure you're subscribed to all of our notifications. Because as you already know, Manifestations 2020, we do not bombard your timelines. We don't kill your notifications. But when we're going live every week, which is 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sundays, unless notified ahead of time, you'll get your invitation personally from us to join us and link up with the family. We want to give a big shout out to all of our fans and supporters from Facebook, from Instagram, and our YouTube crew kicking with us live as always. Make sure you stay in touch with us. We'll see you all next week, same time, same place, same space. I have this guy over here with a red hat. They call him Anthony Malcolm. This dude below, who's a Niners fan, who's doing very well, they call him Major Gage.
What's up?
And your boy, still repping the Bengals. Who they? I'm Bobby Drake. And combined, we are Manifestations 2020.
Peace.